Hi everyone. Welcome to Ajo Kemisola. It's been like how many months now? 2, 3, 4. No, it's not 4 months. I think it's just about 2 months because I've not really had time. Like I've had work, I've had to take care of the baby. Yeah, mommy with stuff. I had to do my business too alongside at the same time. So it's been kind of tricky for me. I've not really had time for videos. But anyway, welcome to Ajo Kemisola. I'm Kemisola Emmanuel, and I have Tony with me.
Hi.
Like it's an amazing privilege, like our word in Sycamore. Amazing privilege to have Tony here. I think she's one of those people that, when you see somebody and you kind of, just click with them and your heart resonates with the fact that I think this person is actually a very cool person. I think we'll get along. I think that's it for me as well. So I have Tony Colide with me today, and then we'll be talking around something special, just a freestyle thing that we just hope it's going to bless you and that it's going to inspire you and probably kind of help you make some better decisions. That's what we think, and that's what we're hopeful for today.
Yeah.
So basically, Tony, I think one of the things I want to ask you first is, back home, back in Nigeria, we're not talking like, it's not like, it was just hello, hi, church member thing and all of that. But like when you met me as Kenny, quote unquote, like what were your thoughts? What were you thinking?
To be honest, like I feel every conversation I had with you, even though it wasn't like deep, just surface level conversations, it just showed like a genuineness, honesty, and those are things that I really value. To be honest, like I'm not an Ojuaye kind of person. Like be real with me. And even though we weren't so close like that, but I could tell that you were that kind of person. Like you said things that as they came, there weren't so many people that would speak Yoruba to you like that. To be honest,
True.
So it was really good to see somebody that was themselves, like not putting up any facade or all of that. So it was really good. Like that was one of the things that was my first impression of you, to be honest.
So I think you mentioned something that really just struck my heart right now, is the fact that you spoke about originality, like just being original. I remember when I joined Sycamore Church, then it wasn't really, speaking Yoruba wasn't really a thing. So I remember speaking Yoruba and people would be like, so I'm like, what's the matter? Like, what's wrong? Like, it's our mother tongue.
This is who we are.
This is who we are. So what's the point of? So I was just like, this is me. This is myself. I speak Yoruba a lot. I remember there was a day I spoke English in church, and someone was like, I never knew you were so fluent in your English. I thought you understood the Yoruba. I said, oh wow.
Can you imagine that?
We're feeling like this village girl. So that originality.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what struck a chord with me and you was the fact that I liked your person. I liked your courage as a person. I like when a young lady can, carry herself, you give yourself this kind of... I feel like people don't have to really speak to you first before they know who you are.
Kind of person you are.
I think your character should reflect in the way you carry yourself. So I kind of saw that. I said, I think I like this girl. I think she's my kind of person. Even though we never really spoke. And so when you were talking on WhatsApp and you were like, there was something you said about something, I was like, whoa, I never knew we had a conversation about that.
Yeah, that conversation. Honestly, that conversation was like one of the things that made me know that no, there's a different level of respect that I need to give this person. Because you have some conversations with people and when they give you some kind of... there are not so many people who have convictions and they are sure of their convictions. But you were so sure, and it was about this UK thing we were talking about. I'm sure you can't remember, but that day stood with me.
I can't remember, I can't remember. But when you told me, you were like, Kemi, you spoke about something of blessing of Goshen in Egypt. I'm like, what the?
No.
Like, I never really, I couldn't even remember until now. I'm telling you, I can't really remember. But I'm grateful that even our little conversations, people can get blessed. Even when we are probably joking about stuff, even when we have a side, by the side comments and all of that, people can actually get blessed. People can get transformed.
So
but
true.
Coming to what I want us to speak about today. Is this, there's some... I've learned to pick this word from Pastor Tolu, the online, downline, upline thing, and that's where I want us to speak into today. The mentor, mentee, my friends kind of thing, how we choose them, how we... So for you, let's speak about downline first. For you, what do you look out for? Like, what resonates with you when you see somebody that you think I can mentor this person, I think I'm drawn towards this person? Like, what defines that for you?
So I think to be honest, it's very easy to get carried away by people who genuinely like you or people who genuinely fancy you or respect you or have like this idea of who you are. So you can just get carried away with that and just say, oh, this person is my mentee because they like me, because there's this follow. You understand that
that's
kind
the
of
word. That's the
so
word.
like for me, I mean, I don't have so many people that I mentor, but there are a couple of girls that I say, oh, this is my younger sister, those kind of things, like you draw closer. But it's just people who genuinely want to learn from you, not necessarily learn exactly how you do your things, but just learn like your patterns. What kind of person are you? How did you build this kind of character? Not that they want to become you per se, but they just want to pick on like your values, your principles.
I like
and that's why it's very important for me, because sometimes people start to idolize you. They want to become Toyin, and Toyin is not perfect, right? Toyin is not the best person out there. So I would rather you be kind of person that wants to know, why am I dishonest with people? Why do I keep to my values? What makes me strong about my convictions? That's a better way to see things. So when I see that kind of thing in somebody, it just draws me more to them. Like they're the kind of person I would reach out to and say, how are you doing? How far with this thing you mentioned to me, you know? I think those are the important things for me.
I think you've mentioned some really fantastic things. You've spoken about values. You've spoken about principles. You've spoken about structure. You know, I like how this person does this. I like how somebody that, you know, values you for your value and your respect. Somebody that really wants to learn from you, but not somebody that wants to become you. Do you understand? Like that's what you look out for: a sincere heart, sincerity of, I like your principles. I think I want to learn about how you set your principles. So in the real sense, it might not be using your complete old way of setting their own principles, but they can say,
just a pattern.
Just this pattern. I like Toyin, she's honest. I think I want to learn her honesty. How does she do it? Is there a particular structure she puts into her life and all of that? And I think for me, talking about probably mentee, and like you said, I really don't have a lot of mentee in quotes, but I have people that are like younger sisters to me that I'm concerned about. I want them to excel. I want them to do well. I'm concerned about how they do what they do and why they do what they do. So necessarily it's not them becoming me, although on the long run you might look at somebody and the person might be a reflection. And you might be like, I'll do that, I'll make this decision, I'll do that, and then you just want to, you know, help them on that journey. And I think for me too, that's what, you know, draws my attention. And especially I'm drawn towards people of strong personalities a whole lot, because I have a very strong personality. And quite a number of times people feel like when you have a strong personality, maybe you're being proud or you're being arrogant. So there are only a few people that understand that, okay, you just have a strong personality, it doesn't mean you're negative, it doesn't mean you're bad, it can be channeled the right way. And so when I see people like that are close to me, I really want to reach out to them and say, this is the right way to do it. So that you have a strong personality doesn't mean you have to be arrogant. There are ways to do things, there are patterns to do things, there are steps to do things. So you just don't go from 0 to 100. So there's a way to level up things so that you don't appear arrogant and all of that. And I think that's really fabulous. So moving to our onliners, those are our friends and all of that. I know a couple of people that you're close to. I know you and Norea that are very close and all of that. So how do you what are the principles that guide you to choose somebody? Because I know you and Norea are quite close, but you don't have the same personality all in one. So it was just something on a level. It was just something. I know that you and Norea are very, very close, and it's not like you're similar. You have values that are probably similar, but in character you're more reserved. Although you both have strong personalities, but you're more reserved. She's more. So what are your principles? What are the things that guide you through picking your onliners?
Friendships are like one of the things that are so important to me, you know. Like having it, obviously growing up, like you just go in your moral, like everybody's just your friend. But as you start to get older, like the more you mature, you start to think of people that can influence you positively, and just filtering out people that don't necessarily have the same values as you have. So I love that you mentioned that Ori and I have the same values. Like it's important for me, like having friends, you don't necessarily have to be my exact type of person, but I can have conversations with you and our values are the same, which means when I'm making decisions, I trust your judgment. Right? Our principles are the same, which means when anything happens, I can go outside and defend you because I know your principles
Yeah.
are this and
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And honesty is like so important. Honesty, vulnerability. I won't call you a friend if you're constantly hiding things from me, or we have a conversation about something and you're saying what you want me to hear.
An image that you're trying to
Yes,
portray.
an image.
Yeah.
That's not how friendship should be. If we're being honest with ourselves, you know. So like those things are important. Are your values right? Are your principles right? I don't expect you to be the perfect person because we're all growing,
Yeah.
right? But let me know that we're all on this journey of growing together. That's why I'm very selective with my friends. Like I'm learning more and more to use the word acquaintance very often.
Yeah.
Because everybody, you just call this person your friend, this person, but do you know what they're doing with themselves this week? Do you know what they're heading towards? Do you know what their values are? If they say so about this person, can you defend them outside? You know, so I'm trying to, it's not a thing of making your circle smaller, but just finding the people that generally fit into what you see for yourself, and people that you know you can hold accountable to anything.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Like you've mentioned something like you said, take for example, maybe you didn't say it exactly, but I got that whole picture.
Yeah.
If your friend does something that is even wrong, you can defend them because you know that it's from a place of sincerity.
Yeah.
You know their values. You know that this person will not intentionally do something
this
like
kind
this,
of
so you
thing.
can defend them and say, no,
Yeah.
she's not like that. Let's speak to her. Let's see if there's something wrong. I know she won't make that kind of decision, and I really love that because I think with my friends too, I have quite a number of friends, not too much, but I have people that I've been able to say, okay, our values align, and I can trust their judgments. I think that's the most important thing in life. It's not that you're perfect. It's not like we have the same it's not like we have the same attitudes or personality, but the fact that we have a value and a principle that our lives hinge on, and they are the same, and especially from the place of Christianity, this sincerity of us, you know, I can say, what do you think about this? I know you have my best interest at heart, and not just because you have my best, but because there's somebody up there that guides our thinking, and I can be able to say, even if I can't think straight right now, I can speak to somebody, I can talk to somebody, I can talk to somebody that has a clear head, that can, you know, pray along with me, that can, you know, reason the right reason, and I think that's really amazing. One thing I would like to touch on is, I know you to be somebody of very good values. I've not known you a lot. I've known you for a longer time, but we've not been close like this. But I know you to be somebody of very good values. Like, I respect your values. There are few people that I can say I respect their values. You're one of those few people. I respect your values. I respect your principles. I've seen you around church. I've seen you outside church. I've seen the way you carry yourself. I've seen your relationship with guys. I like how there's clarity. You're somebody that is very clear. We know what you're doing. And I'm like, I mean, how do you manage to do that for your age? I think that's quite a number of you know, good personality to combine. Like, how do you manage to do that? How do you manage to put that structure into your life? Because it's wow. Honestly,
this now seems like a lot of pressure. To be honest, I think all of this just flows from a place of being intentional. I know, like, it's a word that we all throw around a lot, but intentionality is like one thing that I think has played out so much. You know, you can just decide that, oh, I want to be this kind of person, this is the kind of person I want to be, and not do anything about it. But there are certain things that me, I've personally seen, especially with people in my age range, and I'm like, I don't want this for myself. So what do I need to do to not become that kind of person? You need to put certain structures in place. So if I'm saying I want to be a person of integrity, what am I doing to be that kind of person? In situations that calls for me to be a person of integrity, am I actually doing what I need to do? You know, things like honesty, things like just principles, everyday principles. A lot of times when we talk about these things, people think like, oh, it's the big thing when you become like a big CEO and all of. In your everyday life, these kind of things should play out. So when I'm saying things like being honest, to be very, very real in my conversation, everyday conversations with people, I try as much as possible to be honest. So if I say I'm your friend, I should be able to call you out if you're doing something that I don't like, which is something that it's very rare to find. You find a lot of friendships that people just this person is your friend, but they are doing something that isn't so great and you can't speak to them about it. So when I say something is a principle for me, I try as much as possible to put it into action immediately in my everyday life. Like, how can I put this into action? Like I always say, we're not perfect, right? But as much as possible, try to be working towards perfection. If you say this is who you are, then try to make it be who you are in your everyday life and all of that.
And I think what I've picked from what you just said is not living a double standard life.
That's it.
I want to be you can be different persons, you can be in different roles, but you should be the same person.
The same person, yeah.
I want to be the chemist at home shouldn't be different from the one at work.
Yeah.
I can't be saying, oh, I have a little daughter. I can't be telling her, Machi, I don't want you to lie. I don't want you to do this one. And then
you're doing
when I'm at work, I'm something entirely different.
Yeah.
I'm the one who doesn't really mind about corruption. If you want to do your thing, do your thing.
Right.
If you want to steal money, and all of that. So I think it boils down to not living a double standard life.
So true.
So like just be true to yourself.
That's it.
Know what you represent. Sometimes it can be really hard.
Yeah.
But we must constantly allow God help us to, put our values, in everything that we do. And I think that's really profound for me. Another thing is mentee stuff, like mentor. Yes.
Yeah.
Now to the upline, you now being the mentee. I had issues with that, because my personality kind of is hard for people like us to find mentors.
Yeah.
Because in the first place, you don't want somebody that will boss you around, do you?
Very true.
Like, I'm sorry. You don't want somebody that will boss you around and just think you are nothing but... And you also don't want somebody that will just leave you to be doing whatever you have to do and, just feel like everything works. So
that balance.
We really want a balance. And I struggled with that a lot. Like,
I
struggled with that a lot. It was, for me, it was a hula baloo. It was something else for me. So, what do you think about this? Because I think it's a struggle in our generation. When you eventually have the mentor was to boss you around and wants to tell you to probably announce help or something.
Or the extreme where they don't even care.
Or the extreme where they don't even care.
Them.
So where do you think the balance lies? What do you think we should look out for when we're looking for mentors? And are you of an opinion that a mentor must be for all areas of your life? What do you think about that?
I love this last part that you just chipped in. I think, to be honest, for our generation, the first thing is we need to free ourselves from this mindset that a mentor has to be like God. Or a mentor has to be perfect in everything, which is so important. Like, people just assume that because you like a person, maybe at work, this person is efficient and all of that, you just assume that, oh, they're perfect with family, they're perfect with friendship, they're perfect, which is not always so. Someone like me, I can be good at like picking up skills and all of this. Does not necessarily mean I'm the best person to learn from with like friendship. I'm just giving an example. So people might not be perfect in all areas of their life. But I think if you see something that you like in a mentor, like you say, oh, I like how this person handles our relationships, it then makes sense to say, I would like to know, what do you do? How do you, it makes sense to say, I want to learn how you do this. I found that sometimes we put too much pressure on the people we call mentors to be perfect and give us solid advice in every area of our life.
Which is not true.
Which is why I really love that last statement you made, because sometimes people are on this journey, everybody is growing, right? True. So they might not necessarily
have mentors.
Yes, they have mentors as well. So they might not necessarily be in the best place to give you advice for every single area of your life. So when you start diverting towards things that they don't really want, you find that sometimes some mentors will start to draw back because of the fear of being in a position that they don't think they are fit for, to be honest. So there's all of that. So for me, like, I've just come to terms with the fact that there might be people that I can reach out to for certain things, for different things, and it's okay. I don't need to put pressure on myself to find the one perfect person that fits all. And the thing is, another thing for me is finding somebody that genuinely wants to see me grow. Because honestly, there's so many stories of mentors taking advantage of people. When you're vulnerable and honest with people, it becomes a community gist, all of those kind of things. So it's really hard to find people who genuinely want to see you grow, who genuinely want to see you like become a better person. Like, in my own opinion, if you're having a mentor, it shouldn't be a thing of I'm constantly chasing you, I'm constantly trying to reach out to you. I think when it comes to that situation, you're already putting too much pressure on your mentor. Because mentorship should be, I should be able to share with you out of a place of who I am. I should be comfortable with sharing the things that if I'm starting to have to package myself before I can speak to you, or I must fix multiple appointments, I don't think it's mentorship at that point. I don't think it's mentorship. So I think it's very important for me to like just find people who can share out of who they are in their everyday life, and I'm okay, fine with that. Like, I don't need a huge label of, and there are people that if you need to hold me accountable, if you need to say who is this kind of person, I can tell you, oh, ask this person. You need to know who I am at work. I have bosses that can say this is the kind of person I am. If you need to know who I am at church or in my service to God, There are people in church who can vouch for the person I am. Do you need to know who I am, like with my relationships? I have friends for that. So why find one person who knows everything about me when they have their own life as well, and then they would not be doing that for how many mentees? Sometimes we put too much pressure on mentors, and mentors want to do everything for everybody. But let's be real with
I
ourselves.
think you actually mentioned something that you mentioned a lot that I really value. Two things that actually I want to take home and actually think about in relating with my mentors, and also relating with my mentees as well. I think one thing is we must understand seasons in life.
Yeah.
I used to have a mentor that were very close and all of that, and I still respect so much. But I've just realized that we've moved past that season where it could really support me, where it could be, you know. And sometimes we now begin to have grudges and say, this person didn't do this for me, because that season has passed. We have to understand that seasons come with people. It doesn't mean they're not relevant in your lives anymore because we're no users. We still respect them, we still love them. But this season of my life, this is the person I need, not this person.
So true.
It doesn't mean you've used them. You still appreciate them, you still honor them, you still check up on them, but they may not be the apt person for you in this present dispensation. And you must acknowledge, you must know that this is the person that God has brought my way at this time, and I should utilize the relationship and maximize it as it were. And also you mentioned something, and that's me being a mentor and having a mentee. I think I also should know that there are boundaries. The fact that someone respects me, the fact that someone values my opinion, doesn't make them a puppet to me. Like, I shouldn't be lording over somebody because the person is my mentee. So there's a place of respect. There's a place of this person is an adult, and I should respect the person's decisions. There's a place. There's a way of counseling people with respect. And also you should know when a mentor is trying to subdue you. And when a mentor is trying to make you grow. Your mentor can discipline you. I'm of that opinion, because I myself, I don't think I'm somebody that would you just do anyhow and then I'll just let you go. I can say, well, you did this, I don't think you should have done this. I can have honest conversations, but there's a difference between honest conversations and somebody trying to make you a complete a subject to them. You are not an house girl, you are not a house boy. You are this person's mentee, and you should also be loved and respected. So I feel like this love and respect, it goes from the top to the down, and then it goes from down to the top. So like there should be a balance to all of those things, and I think I've really learned that a lot. And honestly, I would like us to probably take the conversation further after this video, probably have another part and where we actually discuss these things more, because I think a lot of people actually struggle with this mentee thing. And I think there's something you mentioned, don't be under pressure to get a mentor.
That's it, that pressure. And I think it's just the title mentor that most people feel very pressured to have. Like, everybody just wants to have a mentor, but you don't fully understand what it means. And also on the flip side, mentors, a lot of people want to have mentees too. You want to have a lot of people under you, but it's a whole lot of responsibility, because you're supposed to hold this person accountable. When you say somebody is your mentee, it means if anybody calls you up today and says how far this person, you should be able to vouch for so and so things that they do in their life. And that's a lot of responsibility. So why take on that so many people that you don't even have enough time
that you cannot account for, you cannot be accountable,
you can't keep up with their life, all of this. And we should free ourselves from this thing. If you can't handle it, it's okay to say you can't. It's better for everybody, because so many people are walking around with mentorship huts, and it's bad, because then they close off their minds to having anybody mentor them again. So if you can't handle it, it's fine to say, I don't think this is working. Just like relationships. Honestly, that's how I see it. It's just like any relationship.
And I think mentors should actually also know that you can learn from your mentee.
Yes, there's that too.
I think the fact that you're older than somebody doesn't mean you can't learn from them. Doesn't mean you can't, there are quite a number of things I've picked up from. I have a niece that is even way younger, who is going to be 19. Apart from me being an aunt, and we're very close, she respects me. I've learned a lot from her. She handles some things, I'm like, whoa, I couldn't handle it like that when I was your age. That's fantabulous. I respect you. I love you for what you're doing. You're intelligent. I don't even have this much mental capacity to handle what you're handling, and I value what you're doing, and I appreciate you. And you just give them a heads up, and they are able to they feel very good about themselves. They know that they're doing something very right. So mentorship is not for when somebody is doing wrong alone. It's also for when you're doing right.
True.
Yeah, amazing conversation.
So
I wish we could have this conversation for like 1 hour.
Wow.
So this is like a part 1 spice. When I go to Coventry, we'll do another part 2.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Tony.
It's been so great having this
really nice. And I think another conversation I want to have with you again is how you are somebody of very strong personality and also someone that is very calm. Like I can't balance it.
Let me just answer now. That one is God.
Like I can't balance it.
No, it's God.
I'm like, you are somebody that can put your foot on the ground. You're somebody that you know what you want and all of that, but you're still very cool-headed. And I'm not cool-headed. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm not.
It's a journey of growth.
I'm not.
No perfection.
Yeah. But I think I actually value that, and I would like to learn how you do these things, because I think it might help me a lot as a person. Like how to. Sometimes when you just, I'm like, no, sharp. I just, so I need to learn to be calm. Although I'm learning that now, I'm getting better at it. But I think having a conversation around it can also help people that have personalities like we have, and can help them stay calm and put their heads up. Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for being with us on Ajo with Kemisola. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.